Hi guys, I'm Toni, ToniStamps, welcome. Today I'm going to show you how to make a double waterfall folio. And it's going to hold plenty of pictures. I guess this would be like a mini album size, but it's going to hold plenty of pictures, and I think it's pretty straightforward. And I'm going to I'll take a picture of my cut sheet, like all my cutting, chipboard, the cover pieces, the inside, the waterfalls, and we're going to go through that. I'm going to tell you all the measurements as we go anyway. But at the very end, I will take a picture of that sheet, so that might be helpful. So if you give this a try, let me know. Please leave me a comment. Let me know how it went. And you can have a lot of fun with this. As far as decorating, like, I'm pretty minimal until I put pictures in it. So this is really just for the base. Like, I don't even know what pictures I'm putting in mine yet. But you can you can doll yours up a lot or a little bit, and that's the beauty of it. Like, they can all be different and all wonderful. So let's get started. So what we're making is a double waterfall folio. So it's going to be, we're going to make a cover out of chipboard, and then there's going to be a waterfall on this side and a waterfall on this side. Finished size is going to be 4.5 by 7.5 with a 1-inch spine. So to start out with, so we're going to do a wrapped cover, and then we're going to add our waterfalls inside. All right, so chipboard, we've got 2 pieces, 4.5 by 7.5, and then the one piece that is 1 by 7.5. I also cut adhesive sheets, the same measurements, so we're gonna just cover these with adhesive sheets. Now, these I just got off Amazon, and I don't know how I feel about them yet. I don't know if I want to link it because I'm not convinced that I love them. They're a little bit hard to get started. All right. And the chipboard, you want any medium weight chipboard, really. So see how I got that one corner started? Oh, look at that. See, mistake already. I peeled it back and then let it flop over. All right, so sticky side. Let me just crease that. So I want to line up this corner first, and then press this one down. Then I can hold it on the left side as I slowly peel it. And I don't want any air bubbles. So far what I've noticed is when I use this, it kind of shifts. This adhesive sheet shifts a little. So I think I'm going to prefer my Sizzix adhesive sheets. But these were worth trying. And of course I got a whole pack of them. So I'm just trimming this off with my Teflon scissors so that none of this gooey stuff will stick to my regular scissors. So you do need to make these covers first when you're making any mini album or scrapbook. The covers come first, and then you add your pages or whatever bits you're putting in there. All right, so we've got our covered chipboard, our adhesive covered chipboard. Let's get these out of the way. Now we add our cover. So I want to have an inch that will wrap over these edges. So since this is 7.5, I want this cover to be, this is 9.5 inches long. And then with this particular style of cover, I actually made this 4 by 9.5 inches long. So I'm going to use my ruler because I want this 1 inch. This, by the way, is 4 by 9.5. So this piece being 1 by 7.5, I want an inch on either side to wrap over. All right, so let's get this going and peel this up. All right. So I'm going to lay this right in the center and hopefully stay straight. All right, so 1/2 inch on either side. All right, that looks straight. Good, good, good. Okay. Now, when you have a book like this with a 3-piece cover, which this really is, we've got the front, the back, and the spine, you want to get the spacing in between these correct so that you can open the book without any ripping. So I like to use the 1/8 inch tape, and this is, I still can't remember the name. It says Suk Wang, but that's not it. I'm having a brain fart. So anyway, 1/8 inch, this is a good measurement to go between your cover and your spine. So I'm gonna lay this right up against the spine. All right, and then just peel that off or rip that off. And again, on this side, right up next to it. I've made plenty of books, and I saw someone else do this, and I'm like, you know what? They are right. This is the best way. Because sometimes people will tell you, you want like 2 or 3 times the width of your chipboard. But this has just been a lot easier. So I'm gonna bring my ruler back in. And now I'm just using it so I can keep the covers straight. So this is a little bit tricky when I do the covers this way, because see how the cardstock only goes to here? So I don't want to peel the entire bit off. And I know that seems kind of crazy, but I like having this designer paper and cardstock. Okay, I got both of these started. So as I was saying, I only want to peel this adhesive back like part of the way. And I'm just going to fold it because I don't want it to stick to my scratch paper. All right, so I'm going to line this up, and I'm going this edge right against this tape, and then the bottom edge flush with my ruler. And again, I'm trying to keep it all straight. Okay. Now remember, I only peeled a little bit off, so let's just pull this out. Okay. And burnish, and then I'm going to fold that back over, keep that in place. All right, and this is all going to make sense in a minute. All right, and again, let's peel part of this, and bottom flush to my ruler, side flush to that tape. All right, that looks good. All right, and I'm going to burnish all of this. And this side as well. All right. So now this is going to actually get rolled up, but before we do that, I want to add these covers to the front and back. So I'm going to measure. That looks 3 1/4. So I'm going to cut, I want it to be the same height, which is 9 1/2. And I'm just going to say 4 1/4, 4 1/2. Let's do 4 1/2 by 9 1/2. It can be a little bit extra, it doesn't matter. So I think I already cut this at 9 1/2. Yep, and I want it to be continuous. So I want this to be the front cover and then this to be the back cover. So the pattern goes the same. So let me cut this. So 4 1/2 and 4 1/2. And now we can get to the part that will make sense. So this is going to be my front cover. This is going to be my back cover. So let's flip this over. And I want this to be my front. So let's peel this off. So you see, using the adhesive sheets saves you from having to do all the glue, which I've never been able to get it to not show lines. All right, now the tricky part. I want this to line up like perfectly with this. So I just want to kind of drag it over until it drops. And you will feel it. And then just put it right down there. There we go. You'll feel it when it hits the cardboard, when it goes right past the cardstock. Okay, burnish. And then we're going to do the same thing over here. Peeling up our adhesive. And don't worry if you're not exactly meeting the top and the bottom, because that's going to get folded over and no one's going to see it anyway. All right, I feel like I was there. Perfect, that feels good. All right, burnish all of this. So now we're gonna have our covers, and now we're gonna treat it like any cover, any album cover where if we would have used one single piece or two pieces meshed together. So now I wanna bring back I do wanna use my tear and tape, and I am gonna pick this up. So I do want, let's burnish this. We are going to peel this up. It's not there just for looks. Although nothing is going to stick to it, but I am going to put some glue down there anyway. All right, so I am running this tape all the way across. All the cardboard, or the chipboard. And then the bottom of our paper. And I'm assuming, yep, good. We're still in line. Now I'm not going all the way to the edge because, you know, we're going to cut these corners, but I can flip this. I don't know who I saw that did this like 3-piece cover for the outside, but I like it because I swear every time I've tried to make one where you tape 2 pieces of cardstock together and then you have like the seam that will invariably run down, you know, kind of near the middle, I always tend to get some cracking on that lumpy part where they're joined together, and I don't like that. So I like this, and then it looks more like a book to me. But that's not to say that I won't ever make another book with, you know, joining the 2 pieces together. All right, now let's burnish all of this. And double check. Oh, you know what? I hope I hit record. Yep, okay. Panic for a minute. Jeez. All right. Burnish, burnish. Now we're gonna cut the corners, and I like to leave like, what is that, like maybe a little less than an 1/8 inch. You get it too close and that can be trouble. All right, now same thing. This is the back with a little bit of blue. All right, so let's do it this way. So we want to just bend our cardstock, kind of train it. And then I'm going to come in with my bone folder, and I'm running this flat end right up the side there. All right, and then we're going to do that with all the sides. So we got to take our time bending it. If you take your time doing this, then you're not gonna have, be less likely to see cracks. All right, and then on the ends, same thing, bend it up and then bring in your bone folder to give it a little extra. All right. Okay. Now, I like to start with the longer pieces. So we're going to peel this up. And you're going to need your liquid glue, this part. I like to run a bead if my glue didn't get stopped up. Okay, so run glue right along this edge. Okay. And now I'm going to start in the middle and I'm pulling it down and then pressing it out. And even though this is attached by this tape, so I'm trying to grab the cardstock and those designer paper cover pieces all at the same time. That's the only tricky bit with this style. All right, and then we're going to press down and get any glue blobs out of there. And then burnish. Okay, and then we're going to do the same thing on this side. Peel our tape. Run our glue. And I'm not being shy about the glue. I'm squeezing this pretty hard. All right, same thing. I'm going to grab all of this, bring it towards me and down, and then towards me and down. Okay, and then we will burnish and get this little bit of glue off the ends. And then we'll do the same thing here. The only thing different, actually, let's do it this way. So this little part where you may see some cardstock hanging over, like that little part, we want to just squeeze that down with our bone folder. All right, those little corners. That's going to make that like tuck in better. All right, and then we're going to add our glue. And press. Nice. And then we will burnish that down. Now, if you still get like a little lumpy corner, just kind of go around the edge, like curve it in. But I'm okay with that. Those actually turned out really good. Okay. And then the last one, if I can get this tape up. Okay, tape. And again with the glue. And press. And again, I am still going from the middle and then working my way out. Oh, and look, I forgot to do that business. And now you see definitely what I'm talking about, that little corner. Jeez. What did I say at the beginning? Like, hopefully not too many whoopsies. All right. Well, it is what it is. It's not the end of the world. That's what it is. All right, let me get this glue back in here. Okay, so our cover. And now I lost track of where the bottom was. Oh, this is the back. All right, so this will be the front. So we want to gently bend our sides. All right. Start bending them, and then we can go in with the bone folder. And actually, I'm going to use my handheld, the one that's rounded. And I'm just going to go in on top of those, the top and bottom a little bit where that double layer is. And see how that gap, it means that that cardboard, that chipboard is not touching each other. Oh, this is going to be really good. Okay, so let's just keep bending it a little. Again, I'm trying not to get any cracks. Gently, gently. Nice. I like it. And it's not going to be like a perfect line, but that's okay. But see, this style books, how we've got like the spine is black, and then we've got our decorative business. I love it. All right, so now this I'm feeling is good. All right, I can fold it this way. I can fold it that way. All good. And that's going to lay nice. One thing you'll notice, so if your chipboard pieces are too close together, your book's going to always go like this. It's not going to want to close. because it's too tight in here. So that's why I like using that 16th or 1/8 inch, whatever tape it is, because this, we're never going to have that problem. We could even make this book with no ribbon closure because it's going to stay nice. But I think I am going to still add a ribbon closure. So anyway, let's do our next step is we want to cover up this part. All right, so I've got a piece. Do I have the right piece? I've got these two, right? And I went with black because I couldn't pick one of these colors. I wanted a piece that was 4 inches by 7 3/8. Oh, look, that's about that. That must be that one. Okay, and then we have 2 more pieces for the side. So this one, I'm going to do, I'm going to go back to my score tape, or my tear-in tape, and I'm going to add all along here. And I'm going to go pretty far down. And then right down in the middle. And no one's going to see this, but I just don't want any bubbling. I don't want our inside cover. This is what I'm calling it, the inside cover. We don't want that to bubble. And then let's go here. So this will be a pretty solid, if you had solid sheets, you could certainly use that. Right now, I'm kind of mad at the other stuff I bought, so I'm going back to Old Faithful. And then I'm going to do the same thing over here. And somehow I got off kilter here. Okay. All right, now let's burnish all of this. All of these, no air bubbles. Okay, now we'll just peel these up. We'll add our black cardstock. You know, if I wanted to add some color, I just thought of something. I think I'm going to change my mind on, well, no, because I've already cut it. I don't want to waste. All these inside bits will be black. That'll be fine. Okay, so this, let's add some glue right down the middle. All right, because again, we're going to press this down. And we've got our piece. And that is going to go right there. Now, I know it's hard to see black on black. All right, so burnish, burnish, burnish everything. And then we have to go back into those grooves that we've just covered up. So where's that? Right there. So just bend a little and see how it gets a little bit cracky or crooked, really. So let's just go in here. And I'm pressing it up as I burnish. And then we'll do the same thing here. Get that going. And you don't want to press so hard that you would crack anything, but we want to get that going. And that looks good. Okay. Okay. Nice, nice, nice. Okay, now, like I said, ribbon covers. So we're going to have 2 pieces that are going to cover up this inside bit. So you want to have your ribbon down first before we cover that up, okay? So I've just got some black ribbon And in this case, I like to use, I like to use Fabri-Tac in addition to some tape, just because. And I want this scallop to be, let's do facing down. Just got to make a decision. All right, so eyeball that there to there. And of course, we're going to burnish. Now, if you're going to follow along and make this project, you want to make sure we have enough ribbon for your handles. And then we're also going to need more for our waterfalls. I like to do ribbon closures on the waterfalls. And it's just because you don't know how much space you're going to need, because it depends how many pictures you put in, if you put any ephemera. All right, so let's do this. Put that right there. So I did the tape and then added Fabri-Tac on top of it. And then I'm going to go out, 12 inches doesn't seem to be long enough for, so I want to have room to make a nice bow. Let's go like 15 inches. And then we'll cut the same for this side. And if you don't want a bow, you just want to tie a knot, that's up to you. All right, let's do that. Screw that back on. And then I want to make sure the scallop is going the same way. Okay, got that. All right, now we can add our inside covers, and that's going to cover up that ribbon. I really like to add tape around the edges and then fill in with glue. I like using both the tape and the glue. I just feel like it's a good bond, especially getting this right up on the edges. Or close. And I will still put glue on top of this tape, so it's not like it's just gonna be tape or glue. Okay. And where did my other bone folder? Here we go. So burnish, burnish. Tell you, I had a different size plan for this when I first wrote down measurements. But then I got to thinking, like, what size pictures do people actually use? I was trying to get it to where we could just use 4x6 and not have to trim our pictures at all. But then I had to change my mind. Okay, so I can see a little bit of that ribbon poking out, like a thread. So since this is all black on black, you see how I want these edges, I want it to be like even. And then we see this little part here, so that's all good. It's all fine. Let's peel up this tape. We'll add some glue. Whoa, that was sticking to my hand. Plus adding glue onto the tape after gives you a little bit of wiggle room in case you don't get it down exactly where you want at the beginning. So that looks good. Okay, get that extra glue out. And let's just run our bone folder all over. And then we'll do the same thing on this side. And then this will be our base is done. And I'm probably not putting a cover on. I mean, like decorating the front cover because I don't know what pictures I'm going to put in here yet. I want to save like any decorating really until I know what it's going to be for. Okay. And then same thing here. That looks okay. I love it. Okay. Okay. Now, let me put a pin in this. We're going to talk about waterfalls. So, oh yeah, I love this. And is that, yep, that matches. So this will be, we'll use a bow to tie this shut. This is the base. Okay. So now I want waterfall pieces. And I went with a 4x4 like page. So you're going to cut, and we're going to see how many you're going to fit on here because I don't know yet. You're going to cut several 4.5 by 4. All right. And then we're going to score at 4 inches. All right. So on the 4.5 inch side, we're going to score at 4. Oop, drop my score thing. And that'll give us a 1/2 inch flap. All right. 4. So here's only 4, but I've got 7 or 8 already done. So I like this size because A, I figured 4x4 pictures, but B, I cut my designer paper 4x4. So it's going to cover this entire piece. So here's I'm using all the patterns from this paper, but there's our flap and then our 4x4. So if you wanted to cut yours smaller, so if you wanted a border, that's up to you. I just wanted to cover the whole thing. All right, and I think I've got 8 here already done, and we're gonna do the one side and then come back and do the other. So I don't wanna put my waterfall directly onto my base. I wanna put it on this paper first, and then I'm gonna add the ribbon to the back of this and then glue this whole thing in. All right, and why do I do it that way? Because that's the way I saw it, and I like the idea. It made sense to me. So we're gonna build the waterfall and then glue the whole thing in. All right, so we're using 2 pieces. These are, let me check my notes, 4 1/4 by 7 1/4. And let me just double check. 4 1/4, yep, by 7 1/4. All right, so our waterfalls there's gonna be a little side border, all right, and that's okay. So we're just gonna start at the top and we're gluing. And I'm gonna start this right at the tippy top. So I want this edge to start to match that edge. And again, I'm gonna eyeball for the middle. Okay, that's good. First one done. And I can see there was a tiny little bit of that paper sticking over my waterfall piece to begin with. And I shouldn't have worried about that tiny little sliver, but that's me. Okay, now we're gonna glue the rest of our waterfall. So you always start at the top so that you can always see where we're going. So now this one, glue. Top of here is gonna butt right up against there. Now sometimes you may find that it's easier to do it sideways at this point. Depends on your eyeballs, like what you can see. It is easier for me to see the closer I can get to it. And we're just going to continue until we can't fit anymore. When I did the math, I thought 7 or 8 would do it. And try to keep on track. And on track, I mean like everything going straight down. You can see I got a little off, but ooh, I'm liking it already. So the other side is going to be an exact mirror of this side. I like waterfalls because you can put pictures on this side and this side. And you know, you're journaling and any little bits you want to add. But a lot of people, when I see, they'll make their closures like with cardstock and like kind of a belly band thing with a magnet. And that, it always drives me nuts because I'm like, you're making it to the certain size. The more you add, the more pictures and stuff you add, it's going to make it up, up, up. Well, then your magnets aren't going to add up. You know, they're not going to match. So I got a little off there. All right, let's add another one. Looks like we can get 2 more in. So yeah, that style of closing a waterfall, it makes me crazy. I just prefer a ribbon because a ribbon is forgiving. You just have to make sure you have enough ribbon to start with. Okay, and then I think we'll be able to get 1 more. Perfect. Oh, I love it. Okay. All right, and again, butting this up, and I know it's hard to see black on black, but maybe you'll pick a different color. This would be so cute for Halloween or Easter, anything really. I love it. All right, now I have to decide. I've seen where people would put a pocket down here, just to, I don't know, you can tuck some stuff in. So I think I'm gonna think on that and come back. I think we will do a pocket just because I'm gonna want something there anyway, if only another piece of like designer paper to cover that up. Because I will want that. Oh, you know what? I'm liking that. Oh, yep, hubby's calling. Time out. I'll be back. Husband called, so, and then I decided to change my mind. So I'm not going to do any pocket. I am just going to glue this. This is another 4x4 piece of DSP, designer paper, pattern paper, whatever you want to call it. All right, and then that, I love it. Okay, so now we need to add ribbon before we glue this onto here. Okay, so, and this is gonna just be centered. I like it, I like it. Definitely do the same color as your, you know, your inside cover. Do the same color for your waterfall back, because then if you're like off a little bit, you're not really gonna see. All right, so let's do same thing. So this will be our top, and I want to add tape and then glue, Fabri-Tac rather, and that looks middle-ish and middle-ish. So I want to make sure this is going to be 2 separate ribbon pieces. So I want to make sure, let's go like here, I'm just eyeballing, and I want it to come down here and then have some extra. Or we can plan to tie it in the middle and then I can make them the same. That'll work. All right, so however long this is, and then I'm just going to go ahead and cut it 2 more for the other side waterfall. And you see how I'm doing that? I'm just holding it up, not measuring anything. So let's just see, what did this end up being? 12, 14 and a half. All right. I do want the scallops to go the same direction. So let's do this. And, wrong glue. Air bubbles. All right. And let's do that. And then same thing down here. I might have to get more Fabri-Tac. Well, no, it's about half full. All right, another piece of ribbon. Where's my second ribbon? Oh, there's a bug in here. And scallops are going the same way. And I like a good 2 inches or so of the ribbon like going in. I feel like that's just sturdier. All right, and then we're going to put some more tape, at least around the edge. Yeah, that's gonna drive me nuts. There's like a moth. Somehow that got in here. Tape, and then tape right across this ribbon. Okay, and let's do a little burnish. And then we'll peel, glue, and stick inside our cover. And I think I'm actually going to put this on the right side. I feel like I should add a pocket, even though I changed my mind. All right, so more glue. This is what happens when I just obsess about making something for 2 days. And then I decide, I'm going to make this video right now. But this is the process. All right. So I'm holding all of this together. And I'm going to go straight down with a teeny little border. All right, I like it. And now I'm going to open it and I'm going to press every single, I'm pressing on this 1/2 inch tab. That's the only way I can get down there to that cardstock. Actually, let's see, is this gonna fit? Yeah, whoopsie. And then we'll go all the way down. Nice. All right, and then this will tie, and I love, this is a good amount of ribbon. So do you see what I mean? You know, if we had a belly band with magnets, like right now I'm squeezing this pretty tight and making these pages as flat as they can. But the minute you start adding pictures or anything, this is gonna bump up, 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 up. So I'm liking that. And I had the 1 inch spine in mind in case these got very lumpy. The pages got very lumpy. But you could definitely get away with a smaller spine. But I am loving that and all these colors. All right, so I'm going to come back and we're going to have, I'm going to make all my tabs. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then this time we're going to add a pocket down here. All right, so I'll be back in a jiff. Okay, we're back. We are going to work on this second waterfall, which is really going to be exactly the same as this, but I decided, yes, we're going to add a pocket at the bottom. So we're going to do that. And I went ahead and pretty much mirrored these papers. So that's just me being anal. You can mix and match yours. But we've got our base piece that we want to build our waterfall on first. And again, this is, I think 4 1/4, yep, by 7 1/4. Yep. So again, starting at the top, that didn't really matter. This is going to be my top. So glue on our flaps. Now again, the cardstock here is 4 by 4 1/2, and we scored it at 4. So it gives us this 1/2 inch hinge. And I'm just gonna eyeball getting this in the middle and right up to the top. Okay, that looks a smidge off. I'm going to live with it. Okay, good, good, good. All right, now we want to line up same as before. So I may speed through this part, but we're taking this tab and I want to line this edge up with the very bottom underneath. So like right here, right up against that other one. And for me, it's easier for me to turn it this way so I can see. And I just want to keep track, make sure that everything is lining up straight as we go across. All right, and I mean, you could use a ruler if you want, but I'm not going to do that. So, okay, fast forwarding. Okay, so I've got all my panels in, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And I do want to put another 4x4 along right at the bottom here, just like I did on the other one. And then I'm going to put the pocket on top. So again, this is a 4x4 piece. And actually these words do go in a certain direction. I hope I paid attention to that when I was gluing on my other pattern papers to my waterfalls. But if not, oh well. Okay, so this is the bottom. Now I want a pocket that is like 2 inches up and goes the full 4 inches. And I'm going to have a 1/2 inch on each side. So we need to make like a 3-sided pocket. That's going to give us the hinges that give us a little bit more room. So since this is 4 and I want a 1/2 inch on this side and a 1/2 inch on this side, I need it to be 5. And then I want my pocket to be 2 inches tall, so plus a 1/2, so the bottom, so 2.5 by 5. So that's what I've got here. And we're gonna go ahead and score at a 1/2 inch on 3 sides. This kind of pocket is called a gusseted pocket. It's a lot roomier. All right, let's just start on the short side and we'll just do 1/2 inch. 1/2 inch, turn, 1/2 inch, turn, 1/2 inch. All right. Now with this style, so it's gonna fold in like this, and then this bottom is gonna fold up. So I wanna miter this tippy top just a teeny little bit. So from this score mark in just a hair, and then flip it over and do the same thing here. All right, and then we're gonna cut these corners off. So diagonal and diagonal. All right, and bone fold. All these corners. So we're left with the front of our pocket should be 2 by 4. So let's just measure. Yep, 4 by 2, perfect. And I cut this designer paper, hopefully 1 3/4. Yep, oh no, 1 7/8. So 1 7/8 by 3 7/8. And we're going to go ahead and glue that on. And you may decide you want to put like cardstock, like another layer of cardstock, not the pattern paper. That's up to you. Okay, so that's all on. Now gluing this in. So I start with the bottom. You can see this is really starting to curl up, which is fine. That's how it wants to do. So I'm going to start with glue along this bottom flap and get that situated, and then I'll glue the two side flaps. So let's put this, and I want this to go right to the edge of my designer paper. And ooh, I see a lot of glue coming out. A little heavy-handed with that, but that's all right. Okay, and then these will tuck in, and ideally they would have met. Let me see if I can peel that off. Oh, good. I don't want to see any of that pattern paper on the side. So let's try this again. That just means I cut something, a hair off. All right, let me get a piece of paper towel. That is extra with the glue. Okay, clean that up. Smash this down, and then, yep, that's better. Okay, so we're just gonna add glue. Oops, went right off the project. All right, and now we're gonna go and we wanna add our ribbon to the back of this whole panel, because you know we wanna have our ribbon closure. So I had already cut my ribbon. Here we go. And we're gonna do the same thing. So I'm gonna use a little bit of tear and tape and then Fabri-Tac. So kind of the double whammy for adhesive. That looks about middle-ish. Middle-ish. Good enough, I should say. All right, do that. And we will add our Fabri-Tac. And you know what? I didn't think to check to make sure everything is straight. All right. I hope so at this point, because I can't go back and redo it. All right, and I do want to make sure that my scallops are facing the same direction. So actually I'm going to have these face in. So the scallop is on the right side, so I'll make this one scallop on the left side. Yeah, which looking at it will be right here. And then right here. Nice. And then let's bring in some more tear and tape. Okay, now I'm just gonna hold this, and I want to get this as centered as I can. I should have probably tied this. All right. I think I'm happy with this. I better be, because that's down there. Okay, let's press, and then I'm just gonna go in and press everything, like whatever I can reach. And then flip this page down. All the pages. And I love it. I do need to cut a little strip for that. So you could leave this middle just, you know, black or whatever cardstock you're using. But why not add a little bit of fun to it? So let's just tie this. And oh my goodness, I love this already. All right, we're gonna tie it to get it out of the way, and then I'm gonna figure out what piece I have that's gonna fit on that. And you know, I might end up trimming these ribbons. It's better to make them too long and then trim it versus having it too tight, because I cannot tie a bow if I don't have enough paper, you know. Okay, let's see, a longish strip. So our centerpiece was 1 1/4, right? Yep, 1 1/4, no, 1 inch. So let's make it a little bit tight. Let's do 7/8 inch by, and I've already wrote down the measurements, so this is not included in it. Let's do 7/8 inch, because this is optional. If I can get this cut straight, 7/8 by 7 3/8, because our book is 7 1/2, and I want this to go, if I don't like it all the way up the, you know, as close on the top and bottom, I can always change my mind. All right, let's do that. Okay, that is definitely got to come down some. So let's say 7 1/4. And let me just hold this up here in case I need to redo it. Okay, I can live with that. I like it. And I am going to turn it this way just so I can see all of it in front of me. Oh yeah, I like that. Okay. I feel like I could move it up a little bit, but nope, this is good. Good, good, good. And I like that those patterns tie in with our top pattern. So I think our book is finished. Now it's just up to you, like, how would you decorate this? So let's close it, and then you can see in here, I've got the waterfalls tied down pretty tight, so they are pretty flat, but you can add them. That's why we've got that 1 inch spine. You can, the more pictures you add and stuff, this is going to bulk up. All right, and our book is going to lay nicely, but we're going to tie it just so we see. This is how it's going to go. So I may end up trimming these, you know, these bits a little bit more, but I love it. So this, perfect match. I love it. I love it. No cracking anywhere. Round to the side. I am very happy with it. Now let's talk pictures real quick. So 7 waterfalls on this side, 7 on this side. They are all 4 by 4. So you can put pictures here if you want, and then you can put pictures here. So you really can put 14 on each side, or you could do like little pictures here, 4 by 4 picture covering this whole panel, you know, combination. So that's why I would say at least 14, 20, like maybe 30 pictures more if you're doing like small ones. Then our pocket, you can make some little tags, and by making these hinges, like the gussets rather, the gusseted pockets, you have the full width of this pocket. So you can put stuff from edge to edge, all right, and then all the way down. So you can make a couple of tags and put in here tags with pictures, like those little mini pictures from the, oh, what's that little printer I have? the HP something, Sprocket. I love those little pictures. They make little 2x3s like this. This is what I'm saying. Like we could have, you know, each one could have at least one of these, and then cut them maybe. But you know what I mean. Okay, so that's that. Again, this is a double waterfall folio. And I would love to hear from you if you give this a go and try to make one. Leave me a comment. Leave me some feedback. Let me know how it went. I'd love to see it. Okay, thanks you guys. I will see you soon. Bye. Okay, here's the measurement. Hopefully you can pause this and maybe screenshot it or print it or something. And again, if you make one of these, I'd love to hear how it went. Thanks. Bye.